Good morning. I hope you all are doing well. I see Samantha was here. Are you still here, Samantha? How are you doing? The memory verse we remembered all week was, "The Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing." That is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17. Hello, Sue. How are you? I had a hard time memorizing that verse. I'm going to watch this on my TV. Oh, great. Okay. So the next one should be pretty easy. It's not as long. But before I introduce that, we're going to read Proverbs chapter 13. Excuse me. All right, Proverbs chapter 13. A wise man heeds his father's instruction, but a mocker does not respond to rebukes. From the fruit of their lips, people enjoy good things, but the unfaithful have an appetite for violence. Verse 3 says, "Those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin." Good morning, Racine. How are you? Verse 4, "A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied." Verse 5, "The righteous hate what is false, but the wicked make themselves a stench and bring shame on themselves." I'm great. Thank you for asking. One person pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, but has great wealth. A person's riches may ransom their life, but the poor cannot respond to threatening rebukes. The light of the righteous shines brightly, but the lamp of the wicked is snuffed out. Where there is little, there is pride, or where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. We're on Proverbs chapter 13. I just read verse 10. Verse 11 says, "Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow." Hello, Sarah. How are you? We're on Proverbs chapter 13, and I'm going to start reading verse 12. "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Whoever scorns instruction will pay for it, but whoever respects a command is rewarded. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, turning a person from the snares of death. Good judgment wins favor, but the way of the unfaithful leads to their destruction. All who are prudent act with knowledge, but fools expose their folly. A wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a trustworthy envoy brings healing. Thank you. Whoever disregards discipline comes to poverty and shame, but whoever heeds correction is honored. So we need to heed correction. A longing fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but fools detest turning from evil. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Trouble pursues the sinner, but the righteous are rewarded for good things. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. An unplowed field produces food for the poor, but injustice sweeps it away. Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. The righteous eat to their heart's content, but the stomach of the wicked goes hungry. That was Proverbs chapter 13. That I read. Now I've got some questions for you. How does a person preserve his life? And that's found in verse 3. Hello, Timmy. How are you? I'm at my appointment now waiting. All right. So the first question is, how does a person preserve his life? And it is found in verse 3. I will reread verse 3 for you. Those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin. Sue says, great chapter. Proverbs is a great book of instruction. It's a way to become wise. That's why we're studying it, because I need wisdom. Okay, so first question is, how does a person preserve his life? Okay, you're waiting for the provider. All right. Those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin. A person preserves his life by guarding his lips. That's what I got out of verse 3. Okay. Who shall have destruction? That is also in verse 3. I asked for guidance from my pastor who hasn't responded yet. All right, we will keep you in our prayers, Timmy. Give her wisdom, Lord. Guard your mouth, yes, and you will preserve your life by guarding your mouth, by guarding your lips. Those who speak rashly will come to ruin. Yeah, very good, Racine. He who speaks rashly with his words comes to ruin. All right. Next question. What happens to the soul of the lazy man? And that is in verse 4. A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. Good, Timmy. The man who speaks rashly, yes, will come to ruin. So, for the next question, what happens to the soul of the lazy man? It's in verse 4. A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. So, the soul of a lazy man, the desires of a lazy man are never filled, is what I wrote. Asia Joe, hello. The man who spoke rashly. Yep. Listening in. Hope everyone is enjoying this day we have been given. Thank you, Asia. Timmy's at an appointment. Did I miss this week's verse? No, we haven't done the new verse yet. Went over the last week's verse, Zephaniah 3:17. I'll introduce it after we're done with the Bible study. Okay? Hello, Tina. How are you? Racine says, Asia Joe, hello. Sadie says, hi, everyone. Hello. How are you this morning? Okay, I've read chapter 13, Proverbs, and we're answering questions. We just answered the third question. The desires of a lazy man are never filled. And what happens to the soul of the diligent? It's in verse 4. But the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. The desires of the diligent are fully satisfied, is what I wrote down. Everybody's saying good morning to everybody. Just wonderful. The next question: what does a righteous man hate? What do the righteous people hate? The diligence, and I can't read that word because of that heart. Get everything. The diligent get everything. Yeah, the diligent gets what he desires. Yep. Very good. What does a righteous man hate? That's in verse 5. The righteous hate what is false, but the wicked make themselves a stench and bring shame on themselves. So the righteous hate what is false. Very good, Racine. Tina says, hi, Samantha, Racine, Sarah, Timmy, Sue, Sadie, and Asia Joe. I think Samantha came and said hi before I came live, and then she left. I'm not sure if she came back. All right, the next question. Where does strife come from? And that's found in verse 10. Verse 10 says, where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. I thought strife meant tension, like inner turmoil. Hi, Em. How are you? Hello, everyone. I'll just be listening here. All right. Good to have you, Em. Everybody's saying good morning to you. All right. So, strife comes from pride. Did everyone get that? Where there is strife, there is pride. Timmy, the question was, where does strife come from? Racine says, my Bible says, pride only breeds quarrelsome. Okay. Strife definition. Strife emphasizes a struggle for superiority rather than the incongruity or incompatibility of the person or things involved. Strife, vigorous or bitter conflict and discord. All right. I had to look it up what it actually means. I knew it was kind of like a. Timmy says yes. Mine reads only by pride cometh contention. Yep. All right. King James Version. Yeah, I'm reading the NIV. That's what I study out of. Mine says pride only breeds quarrels. All right. And quarrels is like contention. It's like striving, fighting for something, fighting to be superior. Racine says, because I am home, I am reading out of the NIV Backpack Bibles for Teenage Girls. Cool. Timmy says, okay, thank you very much. Asia says, all read the same, just different words to express. Yep. Timmy says, I'm at an appointment, so I don't have my Bible with me. That's okay. Tina says, I have NIV version right now. So do I, Tina. Timmy says, it's buffering for me. And Tina says, must be your internet, Timmy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we answered this one. What does a righteous man hate? M says, I will be driving home in a moment from my appointment, so just listening. Glad I could catch you. Glad you could catch me too, M. So good to have you here. Okay, the righteous man hates what is false. Yeah, a righteous man hates lying. Yes, that too. And strife comes from pride. The next question is, what happens to wealth gained by dishonesty? And that is found in verse 11. Verse 11 says, dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. A righteous man hates lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and cometh to shame. Dwindles away. So I wrote, wealth gained by dishonesty dwindles away. Very good, Tina. Dwindles away. Next question. Who will increase? That's also in verse 11. It says, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. So that's what I wrote. Whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Next question, what makes the heart sick? And that is in verse 12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Asia says, I switched from King James Version to New King James just to clarify any answers I give. All right, that is awesome. Racine says, dishonest money dwindles away. Yes. And Tina says, deferred hope. Yeah, hope deferred makes the heart sick. I just had a thought. You're hoping for heaven, but you gotta wait for it. So that means my heart is sick because I'm longing for heaven, right? Yeah, very good, Racine. He who gathers money little by little makes it grow. That is correct. So, what makes the heart sick? Hope deferred. Can you give me an example of hope deferred? I gave you one, and I'm. Okay, next question. What happens to someone who despises the word? And that is found in verse 13. Asia Joe says, sorry, Michelle, if I miss answers, as I am also cleaning up. We're supposed to get storms, want to clean what I can in case we lose power. Well, that's okay, Asia. I'm not expecting you all to answer. I was told last week that I was going a little too fast. So, Racine says, Tom and I have to go. I will see the rest later and get the memory verse. All right. Have a great day, Racine. Thanks for coming in and giving me your thumbs up. Asia says, whoso despises the word shall be destroyed. Wow, that's even hard. That's harsh compared to what mine says. Whoever despises the world will pay for it, is what my Bible says. Wow. Bye, Racine and Tom, says Asia Joe. Bye, Racine, says Tina. All right, so we'll be destroyed. We'll pay for it. Who is rewarded? And that's in verse 13. Whoever scorns instruction will pay for it, but whoever respects a command is rewarded. So I put, whoever loves the word is rewarded. Asia Joe says, those who fear the commandments will be rewarded. Yes, that is correct. Whoever loves the word and loves the commandments will be rewarded. Okay, the next question. What gains favor? And that is in verse 15. Good judgment wins favor, but the way of the unfaithful leads to their destruction. Good judgment wins favor. I put gains favor. Understanding. Good understanding. Yep. Whose way is hard? And that's also in verse 15. I put the way of the unfaithful leads to destruction. Good understanding giveth favor. Cool. Yep. So whose way is hard? The way of the transgressors is hard. Very good. Unfaithful ways are the hard way. Uh-huh. You are correct. Next question. I didn't get to finish beyond what we just went over. I try to get this done beforehand as much as I can so that I don't take up too much time. What comes to those who disdain correction? And that is in verse 18. Let's see, 18. Whoever disregards discipline comes to poverty and shame, but whoever heeds correction is honored. So what comes to those who disdain correction? Poverty and shame. Come to those Good job, Tina. You're getting faster at typing on your phone. Who will be honored? And that's also in verse 18. Whoever heeds correction is honored. Asia Joe wrote, poverty and shame shall be with him that refuseth instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. Wonderful. Thank you, Asia. What is sweet to the soul? And that is in verse 19. A longing fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but fools detest turning from evil. So, a longing fulfilled is sweet to the soul. Longing fulfilled. Very good. What happens to someone who walks with wise men? That's in verse 20. Walk with the wise and become wise. So those who walk with the wise become wise. Awesome. What happens to a companion of fools? And that is also in verse 20. For a companion of fools suffers harm. If you hang out with wise people, you become wise. A companion of fools suffers harm. So, in other words, if we hang around with people who are being foolish, we're not going to fare well. So, you are the company you keep, so keep good company. What does evil pursue? Verse 21. Verse 21 says, trouble pursues the sinner, but the righteous are rewarded with good things. So evil pursues the sinner. What is good repaid to? Good is repaid to the righteous. Evil pursues the sinner. So good is repaid to the sinner, or to the righteous. Good is repaid to the righteous. What is stored up for the righteous? And that's in verse 22. 22 says, a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. So, what is stored up for the righteous? A sinner's wealth. A sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. Yeah, you got that right, Sue. The sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. What does a good man leave an inheritance, or who does a good man leave an inheritance to? And that's verse 22 also. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. So a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Who hates his son? Verse 24. Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. Whoever doesn't discipline their children hates them. Whoever spares the rod of discipline, hates their children. Yep. What does the person who loves his son do? And that's also in verse 24. The one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. So the one who disciplines their children loves their children. And those who don't discipline their children don't love their children. Now, last week I had a hard time memorizing Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17. I've got it written down. I figured I would remember it, but the Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. That was this past week's verse. And since I had so much trouble remembering that one, I don't know about you all, but I kind of had trouble memorizing that. So we're doing an easier verse this time. It is Nahum 1, verse 7. The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. I wanted one that was easy. It's pretty short. So that's the one we're going to work on memorizing this week. Nahum chapter 1, verse 7. I still need to write it in my notebook that I'm writing all the memory verses in. So how are you all doing now that we've been here almost 45 minutes? Tina says, I have to go meet my son for an item to do canning with that I gave him and now need for today anyway. He's going to be in Zanesville and saves going quite as far to his home. I'll be listening. All right, well, thank you. We're pretty much done unless anybody else wants to talk some more. I'm all up for talking about your Bible study growth. Do you need help with studying the Bible to memorize scripture? I could kind of use help with it myself. Since I had trouble memorizing Zephaniah 3:17, I kind of feel I'm up for listening to. All right. That's good. So you tell me, what do you want to do? Do you want to call it a day? I missed the verses. I am trying to. This huge spider in my house. Oh, man. The verse is Nahum chapter 1, verse 7. The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. Poor Asia. Did you get the spider? I can't tell if I got it, Michelle. We're having a standoff right now. Last time I thought it was dead. It kept moving a few minutes later. Largest I have ever seen in the house. I can tell you stories. Shortly after we moved in, it had been raining a lot. We were getting the newspaper delivered to our house. This was a long time ago. And I opened the front door to let go get the newspaper. In walks a huge spider as big as the palm of my hand. That's legs included. It was a wolf spider. Those things get big. But I opened the front door, he walked right in. I was in bare feet. I didn't want to pounce on him with bare feet. So I went to get a fly swatter or a book or something. And then by the time I got back to where it was, I couldn't find him. I told my husband about this spider that walked in the house when I opened the front door. And I told him, no kidding, he was the size of the palm of my hand. And my husband worked second shift at the time. 2 days later, he comes home at midnight, turns on the kitchen light because our garage door is connected to the house, and you go through the kitchen to get to the rest of the house. And that spider is right there. They're having a standoff at midnight or 12:30 or whatever time it was. And my husband ended up killing it, and he comes to bed, he said, Michelle, you weren't kidding about that spider. He thought I was exaggerating, Sue says my boyfriend is scared to death of spiders. The wolf spiders are good spiders, though, from what I hear. They eat the crickets and the other small spiders and the little creatures, and they're good. But the brown recluse, ooh, no. I use brake cleaner to spray them. It is not healthy or good for the walls or floors, but I cannot get close enough to kill them with a shoe. Oh, they should joke. Michelle, I would have left the house. I cannot do it. Keep in mind, my children were young at the time. Couldn't leave them here by themselves, not with a spider hanging around. Y'all kids better come on. We got to go. You're funny. All right, so our new memory verse is a shorter one. Thank goodness. Nahum chapter 1, verse 7. The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. Yay for short verses. Not long ago, a little one jumped at me from the wall. Wow. Asia says, I will add the verse to my saved list. Anyone needs it later. All right. If you guys would like, you can, yeah. I love that you put all the list of all the Bible verses down, Asia. That was awesome. So Nahum 1:7. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Sue says I'm crocheting and watching on my TV still. All right. Tina says, thank you, Asia Joe. Asia says, the spider is not alive now. Praise God for this little moment. Now I need to mop the cleaner off the floor. LOL. Yep. All right. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I don't know if I will be on later today. I'm not sure if my husband's gonna be going to a meeting tonight. I don't think so, but if he is, I'll be going live again tonight. Okay, time to go, everyone. All right, we'll talk to you later. Thank you, Sue, and Asia, and Tina, and everyone else. We had a good laugh. You all take care. God bless you. Bye for now.